All right, here we go. Onefinity CNC machine that I got from my school. This is the X50 Journeyman. It's a 48 inch by 32 inch cutting width on this CNC router. We got a lot of boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. We're gonna go through the assembly, why I picked this for school, how to get it up and going. I don't know, pretty much everything there is to get this thing going and moving. And that's it. So Onefinity CNC, why did I pick the Journeyman X50 over any number of other CNC routers out there? Space. It is the only one that you can hang on a wall. The rest, you can. Or as far as I know, you can, and I just haven't done the research to look and see. But I know the X50, the Journeyman, can get hung on the wall. I wanted the Elite, but the Elite, you can't hang on the wall. So the Elite's got a couple of other doodads to it and other little things, but I don't know. I just needed a CNC router. It's affordable, hang it on the wall, so you save a ton of space in a classroom, and looks nice. So this is my classroom here, and you can see I really have no room for a CNC router, especially one that's 48 inches by 32 inches. My current one is like 12 by 12 inches. So where it's going to go? Right there. Should fit. I measured it. I think there's about 5 feet of space there. So I'm going to be hanging this thing up right there, and I can roll all my other fun stuff out of the way when I want to use it. So that's the biggest reason. That's where it's going to go. So now that is the Makita router that goes with it. And let's get back. Let's take a look at these boxes. So it comes in 5 boxes right there. I did get the wall mounts there. You have these nice Onefinity boxes. I believe they do say what parts they are, what rails they are. I got the monitor. I got pretty much everything I could load this thing up for the Journeyman X50. So I'm going to start by opening up the boxes. It looks like some, say like Onefinity X-Rail carton. I don't know if I need to open it first, but I will open it. Regardless. Get all my pieces laid out. Take a look at what we have in each one or not. Got one of these Z-axis. Portable monitor. Game controller, that was an add-on. Joystick, 2 of 2. Extension cables I ordered. Clamp system. 3-axis touch probe. Bits. I like stickers. Bits. Not a label box. Raws labeled. Power cable. More cables. Nuts, bolts, screws. The dust boot. It's all dust boot stuff. 3D printed dust boot thing with the inserts. Guess that stops it. I will say, this thing is nice and heavy. These rails, look at these nice rails. This nice thick lead screw on there. Super impressed so far. I didn't know what really to expect. I will tell you, they do a good job packing. Let's take a look. Oof, look at that. That is a beast. Must be X-axis with 48 inches of travel. So this is the wall mount stuff. That should be the handle right there. Hardware, I think, for this frame. Oh, help us here. Because you see how these screws right here, it goes in. We could pull out another box. I figured what I could do is you can go in and ratchet them. And I'll start putting them in by hand. Let's see.
What I found here when assembling is basically keep everything nice and loose, especially with these two main rails and cross members. Use the impact just to basically run the screws down, but not all the way in tight. Get your Y and X axis on, X axis, tighten it up, followed by a Y, then tighten these right after, and it kept everything like super square and ready to go.
All right, so we're pretty much all assembled at this point. See here, so that's the little rest to put it up against the wall. Okay, X-axis, Y-axis, all attached. These are the bushings that hold it up into these plates. You grab them. So these plates will slide in. Well, they'll slide in like that, but underneath. I don't think I'm moving it over. So yeah, these plates are pretty burly. So we're gonna have 6 bolts hanging it in. So it's gonna go up over here on there. So I'll find, I don't know. I'll take one of these home. Get some nice long anchors to go into that wall so I don't have to worry about it coming out. And that'll be tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll also worry about getting the Z-axis and all that mounted up. I'll probably do that when it's on the wall and maybe when it's down, because this thing is not light. It is, oh, yeah, it's heavy. Heavy SOB. So there we go. All right, so tomorrow we'll come back and get this thing mounted up on the wall. All right, here we are the next day, and now we're going to go get this thing mounted up onto the wall. This thing is big and it's heavy, so I will get everything mounted up, and then I should have someone help me to pick this thing up and put it up on the wall, hopefully later. If not, I don't know. I'll draft somebody. I think the football team is practicing outside. I will grab one of them and get this thing up on the wall. So it should be pretty cool. So let's take a look at where we're mounting it and go from there. I might have to clean up the wall a little bit and move some stuff around. So let's figure that out now. So this is the area where I'm going to mount the machine. I might have to push this table over a little bit, but I believe I should be able to get it into here. I hope not into that. I'm hoping right here. It should fit. I got to take a quick measurement and double check. If not, I just got to shimmy things over a little bit to get it into place. So let's start with that, and then we'll take a look at the instructions. So I measured the outside of the frame, not including the stepper motors because they're going to be hanging off the side. I need about 42 inches. So if we come over to here, I have 43. Let's go even more, 45 inches. So it can fit in here in between this and this outlet right here. So that's perfect because I have the 2 outlets right there, so I can run this machine. So I'm happy. I may have to pull those off. Easy enough. And once it gets those off, we got to measure up from the floor, get a level mark, which I'm thinking I might be able to just use one of these as my level line, though I do have a level, and get them up from there. And then we'll mount the brackets and see where we're going from there. They're saying 6 feet plus another additional 16 inches. 6 feet, that's 72, so 88 inches right there. That's going to be the top of it. That's crazy. That's huge. So let me take these things out of the wall and start marking up. All right, so the Onefinity basically says you can install it on wall studs. We're doing it right over here. I'm using these Tapcons, 3/16 of an inch, because these holes actually measure 3/16 inches. This is actually slightly larger, but I went with the 3/16, 2 1/4. So we're going to go deep into this block. SDS plus bit for the gun right here, the hammer drill. And that should, come on, there we go. Fancy. Good to go. So what we're going to do is mount right up at that crosshair there, let them hang, get them level, and then do the remaining holes. So the 6 these bolt Tapcons should hold it no problem. I'm hoping my impact gun here will drive these in. If not, I'm going to have to run home and get my bigger impact gun, but I think it should be fine. Requires a 5/32 bit. 5/32 bit. Here we go. So the block is probably about an inch or so thick. I'm hoping that's good enough. I think by the time I get to the third one, I can get into that grout and go all the way through. I'm going to double check that now, because I can always readjust these. Yeah, so it'll be actually at the bottom of the brick where it's thicker to go through, so I'm happy with that. So let's get these mounted in. Okay, so this is the Onefinity CNC machine hooked up, all ready to go, wasteboard in. That took a while to do, and occasionally you get some holes that don't really line up, so you gotta I just put them all in loose, get them kind of adjusted, and then you sink them all down. There's still one or two in there that are not fully in, but I'm not really too worried about it. It's super in, and I think between the clamps and everything like that, it's gonna hold them down, and we can level out this whole Z surface if we really want to, so then it's not really an issue. But that was like one of the hardest things was doing this was just the wasteboard. Otherwise, everything else was relatively straightforward. The wiring and stuff like that, all once again, relatively straightforward to do. There is something I want to point out that wasn't really, or I missed it in the instructions or I didn't really see. So I'll show you that now. So one of the things I missed is the way the wires hook up. They actually go inside the rails. So you see them there for the Y-axis back and forth. Same thing down here below. You can see here for the X-axis. And then you have it also for the router. Now, when I set this machine up, I actually wanted all the cabling to be on the other side so that the screen would be over here. But it actually worked out better because I have a little bit more space over here near the window to have my screen. So it worked out. So it's just make sure your orientation when you're doing it, which way you're setting it up. Because if you want them on one side or the other, then you need to pay attention to where they plug in. I didn't see them earlier on. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So you can see here, almost all of them in. This is going into the wall, right up there, and there. So I went in and I actually put in some construction adhesive too, or concrete and blocks. That's landscape construction adhesive. This section over here, I have them zip screwed in and double-sided taped. It's the same for that as well. And that's a screen when you turn it on. That's when you see it. It's going to go through a couple processes. So actually, I'll show that. Let's see. The on-off button is a little annoying. One of those little switches. I would prefer an on-off switch, but whatever. So you see, this is all powered off. Okay. And then to turn it on, that switch turns green. Your emergency stop button, make sure that it's turned out and turn to the right and out. And that is your e-stop button. You see the screen here will flicker a little bit. Goes into a booting phase, which takes a moment or two. That's it. Wiring down here, relatively easy. This is for the controller, which is nice, the joystick. All my power right there. Takes about a minute to boot up. Touchscreen is pretty nice. And it should come onto the screen soon enough. There we go. You can hear all the stepper motors and everything kind of powers up, and you actually won't be able to move anything once there's power to it. First things that comes up is homing the machine. So I'm just going to hit OK. So you can see the Z-axis goes. And now the way these stepper motors work is they actually sense a stall voltage. And because they sense a stall voltage, they actually are kind of smart in a way. So you'll see here with that Y-axis that it looks like it's going to ram it. Now my old Langmuir Crossfire Pro, it'll smash aside, which is a very similar setup to this without realizing. Hits, changes the voltage of the stepper, backs off, and now it knows it's the home position. So it's a pretty cool design. I wish the my Langmuir Crossfire Pro had this, but it doesn't. And that is kind of that. I'll show you running through the joystick. So here's the joystick. Pretty nice. Power button. These control your speeds right here, and then your X, Y, and Z with the joysticks. So go faster, slow. There you go. So just changing your steps per minute. That, let's go here. Do Z. And then your X right there. Now, of course, because I have it switched, that's it. And that's the basics. If you get this far with everything working, that's pretty much a good portion of the battle right there. And you should be happy. This joystick here doesn't do anything, so that's it. I think there's more buttons to it, but super cool, super nice. And there you have it. So that is the Onefinity CNC machine, Journeyman X50, all set up, pretty much ready to go. Okay, so why I picked this machine? Couple of reasons. One, this right here, being able to mount it vertically, especially in my classroom, is huge because I do not have any space. The way the layout is in my room is I have all my computers on one side, and then that's a clean area, then a dirty area on this side, with some shop equipment here. There is not much space at all. So this design, being able to hang it from a wall, is huge. Then I can park in all my other equipment in front of it when it's not in use, and I'm good to go. Two, the limits on it. Being able to have those limits into the machine, the XYZ, so that to avoid crashes is a big deal. Some of the other machines, like small machines, don't have that. And as a result, if the kids don't home it right, or if they're not accustomed to use it, you can start smashing your X, Y, and Z axis against stop. So really don't like that. That's one thing. So that's the second thing right there. The Makita route is nice if you ever have a problem with the spindle or you want to upgrade the spindle. Easy enough to do. I would imagine at some point I will. Also, you can get a laser attachment to it, which is with most of them. So that's nice as well. My school is particularly annoying with using like any sort of Wi-Fi or anything like that. So with this as being a completely standalone machine, and all I got to do is take a USB or a thumb drive and take my program and load it into here, is massive. One, means kids can work on it at home if they want. If they're using Fusion 360, they can bring it back and forth. We also use Onshape, which I've never used Onshape with anything like this. So I'm going to be trying with that. That'll probably be a bunch of video series with that, because then if people use Onshape and this, it's a completely free system. You're good to go. Whereas Fusion, you either need to be a student or a school to get it free. What else is there? If you're just fooling around with it, you can get it for free, or you're not making any money. Or you have a business, then you start up, you can get it for free too. So I'm going to be using a combination of Onshape and Fusion 360 with this. We do have VCarve. I'm going to just kind of leave that to my computer workstation. You only get a single license with it, so it's useless for the classroom. But if there's any interesting designs we want to do, I should be able to do that. The controller with it works nice, just so that kids a little bit shorter or taller are able to get up there and able to use it. I do get all the OOPS clamps. So for all the clamping, here they are. I'll be doing a series on that. I got a bunch of different bits, all sorted bits, so that I could start carving right away or cutting right away. I'm trying to think. It's pretty robust. A lot of the other machines have belts, and a lot of them are switching over to the lead screws. Lead screws and rails are huge, especially with kids, because they're animals. They have a tendency to break things. So the less I have to adjust and the less I have to worry about something, the better. So being at this is all nice. Look at these rails. They're massive. Lead screws, pretty decent size. I think the lead screws on this are bigger than on my Langmuir Crossfire Pro plasma cutter. So very nice. So they did a really good job of making a pretty robust built machine for a very reasonable price. So that is a bunch of the reasons why I did this over any other machine. But the number one is space. Space is at a premium in schools, and the fact I can do this is great. Well, at least in my school, because I live on Long Island, so everything's at a premium. Space is one of them. And I think that's it. Pretty easy user interface as well. And I'll be making videos going through basically how I would get a student from designing something to carving something, from simple things to more complex. So pay attention to those video series. They'll kind of move through as the school year moves through. And I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this kind of walkthrough of the build process. I'd like to shout out to Chris, who helped me build this, get it up. Even one of my former students, Logan, on the football team, he helped me get this thing up onto the wall as well, because it is not light. So having a couple of people to help get it up is even better. So definitely to them for helping me out. And I think that's it. And of course, my school for letting me get this. So I'm very happy with them right now. I hope they're happy with me. What else? So that's it. Any questions, comments, things you'd like to see that you want done with a Onefinity CNC machine, let me know. Please leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe and like so I can make more videos with it. I'm going to make more videos regardless, so it doesn't matter if you do. But please do. It would help because then I can do other things. And I think that's it. So that's it, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.